Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome back. Um, Continue on with some of my reviews for the assets that are free on the marketplace in the month of May 2019. And this particular video is going to be about the death animations from MoCap Pack, or MoCap Online. It is free till the end of May, and this one was added in here recently. Apparently, I already had it, and I've already added it to a project. The beginning of the month, this wasn't available, but it was placed in there. But the death animations from MoCap Online. So let's take a look at it. What I have done is added in here to a project that is based off of my Simple Multiplayer Steam template. Alright, so let's take a look. We have animations, we have Death's Gut Shot, Death's Guts Fall Out, Hit Dazed, Hit Head Spinning, Hit Left Chest Head, yeah, a whole series of different animations here. And essentially, I want to go ahead and set them up to use them on my existing UE4 Mannequin skeleton, because each time you get these animations from Marketplace, they're going to already be set up for UE4 Mannequin skeleton. So let's take a look at the mesh. UE4 Mannequin skeleton. Let's open that one up from their death animations. And for fuck's sake, I complain about this every time. You would think that I would remember. Editor preferences. They don't save. Don't matter if you say is set as default. Yes. Lovely. And it doesn't save it. Enable autosave. Disable. If you rely on autosave, shame on you. So, we have the normal A pose. I call it a Y pose. Why? I don't know, because that's how I do it. To get my project, the Simple Multiplayer Steam, the Multiplayer Steam template, I charge $20 US currency on PayPal to get it, and then I just send you a direct link to it. And I can have you convert to any version of Unreal Engine 4 you want to use, from like 4.12 or something like that, or 4.7, all the way up to current. So it will work with 422. I've got it currently. I use it in 420 because it seems to be pretty stable. Everything seems to be a little bit more stable in 420 versus 422. 417 is more stable than 420. Yeah, whatever. Can get it to work with any of them. It's not a problem. But what we want to do here is we want to look at our Retargeting Manager. If you don't have Retargeting Manager, just click that button right there and you'll get this window. We want to select rig, select humanoid rig, and save. Everything else should be good to go. And we'll close that one. We'll go to our normal Mannequin folder, and same thing, character, mesh, we'll open it, and make sure we select humanoid rig and save. Now we can retarget these. Before I retarget them, I want to definitely go ahead and make sure that I go into my character folder that's already set up in here. And I'm going to add in another one, a new folder called Animations. And because I want to be awesome, I'm going to create another new folder, call this one Deaths. Now I can go into the animation folder for the asset pack, and I'm going to select the first one, hold down Shift, and then left click on the last one so that I have all of them selected. I'm going to right click, and I am going to hit retarget, duplicate anim assets, and retarget. I only see the one, UE4 Mannequin Skeleton. So, wait, one's in a T pose, one's in a Y pose, or A pose. That's no bueno. The current source one is set up in a T pose. Alright, let's go back to their Mannequin Skeleton, which is in their desk, character, mesh. It's in an A pose. So what I want to do is select modify pose, use current pose, and then save. That should lock them back into that. So let's try again. Left click, shift left click, right click, retarget, da da da. See, now he's in an A pose or Y pose, whatever you want to call it. And it's good to go. So I'm going to change the folder I want it to go to. So I can put it in my characters folder, animation, death, okay, and retarget. Now, you saw that it was defaulting into the T-pose. Now, if you're using Cindy Studios characters, they're in a T-pose. Well, that one was in a T-pose. So that's something we're going to have to look into on another episode there, is how that relates to retargeting these death animations to the Cindy Studios characters. Since they're in a T-pose, this can be in a T-pose. That ought to be worth looking into. Now, if you want to look at theirs, I'm going to go ahead and hit save all. Make sure everything is good. But if I go back in there, see he's in an A pose. If I hit view pose, that should have snapped him into the other pose, but it did not. Yeah, I'll have to revisit that in another video. But we should now have these death animations properly retargeted into our existing UE4 mannequin skeleton. And there we go. Looks like you got a bunch of wasted animation time. At about 105, nothing happens. So I guess if you really wanted to and to shorten them up, you could stop it right there and delete after that point. If you really wanted to. Because this lengthens the animation time frame. You're getting 138 frames, but you're only really using about 105. But, no problem. We've got all these animations. He's trying to scoop his guts back up. Then he just falls over dead. Nice. So these are cool. Me likey. So what I can do so we can take a look at them a little bit better is I'm going to go ahead and go up here, File, and New Level. VR Basic, because I like it. Click on my the ball, and then Shift left click on this cube, then Control left click on the pyramid, hit delete, so we can get rid of those, and grab my player, and just drag him back just to get him out of the way. And I need to make sure that I go into my world settings, change my game mode override to third person game mode. Click here, make sure it's selected to player_base. So now if we hit play and select a viewport, we can now come in here and there we go. Howdy, howdy. What's happening, my brother? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab the animation and I'm just going to throw it into the map. And of course they're all facing that direction. But I ain't care. I'm just going to throw them in here. They don't have to be pretty. We're just wanting them to be in here so we can take a look at them. I didn't even look to see if there was a demonstration map. Don't care. We're making our own demonstration map. So that's all I'm doing is I'm throwing the animations directly in here, and as soon as we hit play, we'll be able to see all of these guys doing their different animations. It's a cheap and cheesy way of just, if you're wanting an idling character to be standing in the map somewhere, then you can do it this way. Instead of creating a whole character for them, it's a cheap, easy way of getting things in there. Alright, so he's not in a full pose there, so, alright, it's death while he's walking. That's a whole lot of dead people. Okay, this guy's just walking and then I can't see where that would be a good thing. So let's weed our way through and hit the V key so we can change our view to first person. So just a good quality death. Then this guy is just holding his side and dropping down. Scooping his guts. We already saw that one. He's doing kind of a twist there. He's definitely doing a twist on this one. Check this guy out. Slowly falls to his side. He's kind of scooting over a little bit. Yeah, they're falling all over each other, but whatever. To the side. He's crawling and then done. I prefer ones that actually stay in the same location, because if you do a respawn, if you want to respawn at that same location, or stand back up or whatever, then yeah, it's nice to have the existing location. Pretty cool. So we got 16 different death animations, and they're all free. So even if they sucked, which they don't, I kind of like that. It's kind of like he's walking and slipping and falling and knocking himself out. I like it. So that's that. Yeah. That's more or less of what EA thinks of their customers with all their fire and forget games and lots of poor quality choices. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these guys back and delete them. And what we want to do here is we have our character. We can hit the F key and make him die. Sound good? Sounds good. We can complicate this. We have 16. It's a lot to work with. Characters, blueprints, assets. Let's create a data folder. Just to be complicated, let's right click and let's create a blueprint structure, death underscore anims. Go into that, and what we're going to do here is animation, let's see, you know what, before I add anything in here, what I want to do is test map. I want to turn these into, let's see, with the characters, animation, death. Let's turn them into montages. And it's going to be complicated. Create anim montage. Okay. By setting them up as montages, then once you do the animation, you'll go back to your normal animation. You can tell to do a certain thing at the end of the animation. You have more control with the animation montage than you do with just the animation. And it doesn't take but a couple minutes to go through and do all these. I mean, it's just 16. It's not like oh my god, the pedestrian animation pack. I love it, but if you're trying to do this with all the animations in there, you're going to be a while, because there's 160 animations in that pack. So setting these up as an animation montage, you'll see in just a minute what I'm doing here. And I'm sure I'm missing one here and there. Yeah, that's 30. There should be 32. Trying to see if I can find the one that There should be 2 that got missed. Hit right, hit slow bleed out, shot chest head. Yeah, that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, there's 16. And I have a total of 30, so 32. I'm missing 2 somewhere. Shot, bleed out. And mid right. Okay, this should be it. Alright, so now that we got these as montages, if I go back into my data folder and into my death anims, and let's go in here in montage, we can see anim montage, object reference, and now we can choose the montage. And we can just go down the list. There's 16 of them. So we'll do this one, and we'll see right here. So, and we'll call this gut shot. Now, what I can do is when I hit new variable, it's already got animation montage already in there. So now I can select the second one and just call this guts fall out. New, and just keep going through, and you could do this for all of them if you want. Hit dazed, and now whenever you're calling these animation montages, you can do it by pulling up a variable and then breaking that list, and you'll get this full list anywhere you want it. It's super easy. Now the new one, we got hit dazed. So we want head spinning. Now, what could be problematic here is you need to slide this bar down a little bit, because now whenever you hit this, you'll have room. Otherwise, you're going to have a scroll bar you're going to have to do each time. So we're just going to do a couple of them. I'm not going to do all 16 right now. Last time was hit head spinning. Hit left chest head. That's 1, 2, 3, that's 5. We'll do one more. Alright, I lied. One more after this. Need to go ahead and give them names so I know what they are. Hit left chest or head. Yeah, so that way you can actually just put this variable in, and you can pull up all these animation montages at any time. Slow bleed out. So that's 6. That's going to be good enough for now. We'll hit save, and we can go ahead and close that. Now if we go into our character blueprint, and in the blueprints, player base. Now, what I want to do here is I want to add that in here. So I'm going to add a variable, and we're going to call this death animation, and we're going to go over here to variable type, and we're just going to type death, and it comes up right here, death anims. Poof. Compost and save. I know it's compiled, but I like saying compost better. So now it's there. You can actually open up this and see, boop, there's all the ones we have to choose from this variable, but you can also drag it in here and get, and from that get, drag off from there and break, and there we go. Now you just plug in whatever one you want. So let's do keyboard F. So when we press the keyboard of F key, we want to play Montaggio. And what montage do we want? We now have our list. And, well, we can just plug this into here. Let's grab a reference to our mesh here. And gut shot. If we hit compile and save, go into our test map, and we're running around, and all of a sudden, we want this to work. Nothing happened. Pressing F, it's on the mesh. Why did it or not happen? Alright, it's been one of those days. Play montage. Telling it to montage. Yeah, right here. There's our mesh reference there. Well, let's delete it and see if anything happens from there. No. We're in player base. We get a reference to our mesh. Plug it in skeletal mesh component. Montage to play. Let's temporarily break this and let's plug it in manually. Yep, did not work. So that weren't the case. Death animation, we see them right there. And we know if we look at it, it actually plays. So the animation montage works. Play rate is fine. All else fails. Do a print text. Is this bastage working? So you throw in a print text. So if we hit the F key, that works. So hitting the F key is working. So plugging this in here, and then let's plug in a print text after that. And even if you don't put anything in it, it's still going to say hello. So it's getting through there. So why is it not playing the animation montage? And if I take that out and run on completed, it's not getting through. It's not playing the animation montage. So temporarily, let's break you, get rid of you, and play montage. It's the same thing, and let's plug that in here without skeletal mesh component. Nothing. Play anim montage. Now, the other way should have worked just fine. Yeah, I've used the other way quite often. So, first off, before plugging anything in, we'll run that. See if anything happens. Nothing. And then we'll try the mesh. There is no mesh reference to it. But I mean, even if I pulled another, get a reference to self, that shouldn't matter. Okay. Let's just a regular animation here. Now, the thing about playing a regular animation is, and that worked, whenever you finish your animation, it doesn't put you back into a normal state. Or it doesn't allow you to do it on completed at that point. You have to run a delay, and I mean, you can get around it. You can run a delay to it. But, I mean, if I hit play and I ran the animation, I could still move around. But if I hit the F key, it's going to restart the animation every time I hit it. I mean, you can set it to looping if you want to. You can plug in animation montage that way, perhaps. And it's working. And see, it puts you back into a... Whenever it takes you back out, you're not in your regular animation system. So, in theory, you could make that work. But, so let's grab a reference to our mesh, and then play montage is what I always use for death animations. Now, there's another way of doing it. You can actually plug in the animation directly into your animation blueprint. But I like running these montages in here this way. But for some reason, it is just not working. So, the other method here, and this is nice. I like doing it this way. I've got player stats, health, and let's grab a reference to that. Get health. Actually, let's get it set health. So that it's a step here. Let's do subtract float from float. We'll take away 50 points. We've got 100 health. So we want to do set our health to health minus this, and then output to there. So we'll take away 50 health. So you see my health bar, just cut in half, and then half again, and we should be dead at that point. So I'll set up another variable, is dead. Make sure we change that back to a Boolean. I don't know why the montage, play montage did not work. That's always worked for me. So this is going to kill us. So what we need to do now is we need to run a branch, to check to see if health is equal to or less than or equal to 0. And at that point, we want to set is dead to true. There. Compost and save. Now, if you go into your animation blueprint, mine is still using third-person animation blueprint. So I'm going to go into third-person animation blueprint, and we don't need you. Go back to default. Okay, so we've got this, and we've got our event graph, and my OCDs. I like things a whole lot neater. So I am going to quickly just do this. Just because I like things a certain way. But we're going to set up death, a way of dying in the animation blueprint. And this will probably end up working out better anyway for multiplayer and that kind of stuff. You get up there. And you get your butt up there. Alright, so that's just cleaning up this. Event blueprint update animation. Could actually be back here. So what we want to do here is we want to set up a condition. New variable here, death. Alright. Call it whatever you want, but we're going to try get pawn owner. We're going to use that, but we're going to do cast to player underscore base, which is my player character, and we want to link from try get pawn owner into the object of that, and we'll bring this up here and connect it into here, and we want to get is dead. Set a branch node, run that condition in there, plug that in there. If death is dead is equal to true, then we need to set and set. We're going to use two of these. True and false. So death, dead, whatever we want to call it, is there. We have a condition, and our condition is death. So go in here, and we want to add that in there. We only want these to occur from idle for the most part. So we'll drag off from here, and we're going to add a state. Death. So to get from idle run to death, plug that in there. Death equals, we can enter this transition. Death, our result here is we're going to use the first one, death, gut shot, plug it into here, and it's going to run this animation whenever death is true. To get back from here, for now what we're going to do is just going to drag it back to there and go in here, and we're going to put in death, get death, type in not B, N-O-T-B, and you're only going to have one option that's not a Boolean. Then plug that in, so we are not dead, not death. And we'll run that here and save. And if I did that correctly, then if I hit F key, there goes half my health. There we go, and we are dead. We has no health. So it is looping. We don't want it to loop. Yay! It looks cool, but we don't want it to loop. Now, could we actually come in here and use the montage instead? What happens if we run? Yep, I don't like that. So, well, let's put it in there. Yeah, it doesn't like it. So we just run the animation, plug it in there. And it works. It gets us into that. But we only want to do once. So what we can do is at this point is very piss poor shortcut right here. 0.1. We want something there that's not 0, just temporarily. I would come back and actually redo all this a whole different way. From here, that's going to stop us from death, you know, our health bar. That's not going to do anything. Shit. Let's run a... disable movement. Actually, nope, I don't want to do that either. Set movement mode to none. So that's going to stop us from moving around. And then the delay here, when you're doing these, this is not my preferred method of doing death. The death animation we're using is, you're looking at 4.633 sequence length, 4.63. Now select all, 4.63. And let's set extra location 120. This is definitely not my normal method of doing this. And you can actually do this again. Set it back to walking. But what's happening here, though, is yeah, I don't like that. Why is it? Oh, let's see here. The animation is going to automatically loop inside here. Yeah, I'm not too keen on any of this. The thing is, I don't know why it's being stupid and not allowing me to do play a montage. This is what I use for everything. It's what I use for my emote systems and everything else. And this should work just fine. Hit F and it does animation. Just for the sake of it, I just want to test something out really quickly. Third person jump loop. Let's duplicate this. Demo anim. Let's create a montage. Yep, that absolutely is bizarre. Don't have a clue why that's not working. No, I've never had to do that. Absolutely never had to do that. I can go right now to this is where I was setting up the other one. So I can have multiple projects open at one time. I've never had an issue with just running that. So if I go to my character here, blueprint, player underscore base, of course that's all replicated. No, not the same one. What project did I open up? Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, it helps to open up the right project. No, I've never had to worry about setting up the blend per bone. Blend per bone is if you're running something like if you're running and you want a reload animation to take place with your upper body only, then you would do that. So test map and hit play. So it's like hit F, bring up the emote test, and let's do a push-up. Okay. So he's doing the animation montage, and now I can get back up and run again. I hit the Q key, and it is my default is now set to this. If I hit F and change it to where I want him to do a wave instead for my default, I can do that. So in my character blueprints, player base, hit F, brings up the menu. Alright, so I'm setting up my movement mode right there to stop movement, but I got my mesh reference, I got play montage right here. Got that character movement goes over to here and here. But the only thing that's being plugged in right there is the default emote, and I have a default emote right here, which is the wave. Then I have my emote list right here, so I can pull from that structure, and that's all I've done. Is I've plugged my mesh in skeletal mesh component, and I've plugged in the emote that I want to use, and that is a montage, and it works just fine. So let's grab this project, and let's go back to this project. So this, we'll grab our mesh reference, plug it into here. This in effect should be the same thing, but if we want to copy exactly what we've done on the other one, we've got an animation in here. So we'll do death, gut shot, and it's like I did with this other project. I went ahead and had set movement mode, so we'll do that. We'll grab character movement, set movement mode to none, so we'll plug that in here. So we press the F key, we're going to stop our movement. We're going to play this montage. And we don't need that, so we hit play, hit F. Okay, it stopped our character, but it's not running the montage. So why is it not working here, but it is working everywhere else? And we want to do like I was doing in the other project. I can grab my death animations reference here, and I can break it. So now I have my list of animations, and let's do Guts Fallout. Plug that in there, compile, save. And since this one, Control C, Control V, so we can put that in here on completed. We want to be able to walk again. Actually, we don't, because we're going to be in a death state at that point. So this is essentially the same thing as the other one. Nothing. It stops our movement, but does not do the animation. So why is that the case? Like I said, I can come in here and do a print text here and type this, say pre-montage. And it works, but we still don't have the montage playing. We know the montages work. And if we put some print text here, nothing's gonna, it'll say hello right now because that's a pass-through. So you can see it'll say hello, but it's not actually playing the montage. We can play animation, but can't play a montage. And I know this is the same system that I use all the time because it's right here in this project and it works just fine. You can see we got, and it's set up in a custom event, and this is set up to start getting it ready for replication. So this is actually a multicast, and then it's running through server play emote, and that's being run through the Q key, and also through F. It does the same thing, but the whole point of it is it's setting our movement mode. That works, but it is not playing the montage, and I'm not doing anything different. This is absolutely the same. I really can't fault the and we didn't put but 6 of them in here, but still, even if I unplug this and selected a montage manually, be it the one we just created or one of the other ones, I don't get why this is absolutely fighting me. It says hello, so we know that it's run through a certain point, but it's ignoring the montage. It's stopping my movement, but it won't do the montage. Welcome to Unreal Engine 4. There's nothing wrong with what I did. Like I said, I'd use this system all the frickin' time. I say you're pressing the key here, and it's going to stop your movement. It's going to play the montage, and then once it's completed, it's going to allow you to start walking again. So in this one, it's actually just doing the emote. Let's forget about this video playing here. See, works just fine. It stops me whenever I'm doing the emote, and then allows me to walk whenever I get done. Works just fine. I'm going to hit the F key. So this is how I'm feeling right now. Why is it not working when it works? Every other time I try to do it, it works just fine. So if I try it without plugging in any other one here, it's the same basic principle. It stops my movement like it's supposed to, but it does not run the montage. I mean, even if I unplug that and say play animation, play the animation, works just fine. Let's make sure we're doing the right one. Yeah, that one. To save problems, once you've retargeted your anims, you can get rid of the old ones, the old folder. So that's what I'm gonna do right here. Is I'm gonna delete that folder so I don't see those animations anymore. I don't want them overlapping. Yep, that's fine. in case it was trying to pull from the wrong skeleton. It shouldn't, because we retargeted these. So that should be all good to go. And this one is being run off of there. But if we run this now, we're telling it to play an animation. So we'll run around here and it will do the animation just fine. It does not loop the animation, it does it one time. My character can no longer move. I can press F and do it as many times as I want. But that's the thing, is whenever I get things like this, my brain flips out. Things that I've done 100 times before that works every single solitary time, it just stops working. So we know the animation works. We know the montage works. Because if I go in here and play the montage, just fine. If I go back in here to that new one that I created, demo and a montage, it's working just fine. But I can sit here and do this. I can even modify the damn thing. Well, you want to do that in the animation, not the montage, but then you can key frames and apply it to it. But whatever. Fucking Unreal Engine, you piss me off sometimes. Do whatever the hell you want with your animations. But we know that it works, you know. We know these animations work. We've got the mesh reference plugged in. We've got the animation plugged in. I mean, even if I plugged in any of these, it should work. Because those are from my structure with the animation montages. Because if I select it, you see they're all right there. But we're not, this is just no longer working. Now we can go in here and remove that. Go in here, remove that. Take our animation montage or blueprint and put it back to normal again. But why is it not working? Oh, Unreal Engine, you just amaze me sometimes. Well, the animations work, the montages work, but the animations from the project or the review that we're doing currently, they work. Why they're not working whenever I convert them to montages, like I've always done before? Why that it just didn't work, I don't know. Yep. It freezes our character, but just does not do the montage. You can do everything else from here. Works just fine. The F key, everything else is working just fine. Do play anim montage. If you were to do it this way, it's not playing that montage. Why, I don't know. That just, it baffles me. So I have never had this issue before. Is it like, not like erectile dysfunction here, which I don't have, by the way. Not that you need to know that information. I'm just saying, I don't need them damn little blue pills. Force delete. We're going to get rid of our data. Get rid of that. Force delete. Make sure it's gone from my character. It is gone. In fact, we don't even need that right there. Everything is purged. Back to normal again. So, if you were to just run the animation, and I don't like doing it this way, we know that if we want to do this, we can play animation. It automatically pulls reference to our mesh right there. Select the animation that we want, gut shot, and if we do it this way, it plays the animation, no problem. Yay, and we did the death animation. Every time we hit the F key, we're going to do that animation. If you want to reset yourself back after the animation was ending, we know that it was a delay of 4.633. We'll actually make it 464. At the end, we need to set animation instance class. Bring our mesh back here, and we want this to be third person animation blueprint, and there we go. So we'll do the animation. We didn't stop ourselves, but at the end of it, it bounces us back, and we're back into our walking mode again. So if you want to stop yourself, you would do the character movement thing, which was get a reference to our character movement, set movement mode to none, so that stops us. We can't walk anymore. And we'll set it back to walking. After we do our delay and set our animation instance class back, then we should be able to stop ourselves, do the animation, can't move, and now we can. We're back to normal again. So yeah, the animations themselves, as per review, they work just fine. They retarget just fine. Everything is lovely. Why is it that it's not? If you do create and a montage, right there, death, guts, fallout montage, go into it, it's working just fine. So let's go down here and do keyboard T. So same thing we did here. Yeah. Our mesh reference, actually, no. Pay attention to what we're doing here. This is our character movement. Drag that in here, so we'll stop our character. Then we will get a mesh reference here. From here, play montage. Again, this is the same thing that I was doing before. Select the montage. Death Guts Fall Out. That's the one we just created. And after that, we just need to do this and plug this into on completed. That should be that. That should work just fine. So we come in here, we hit F. This one works just fine. Hit the T key, it stops us, but does not do the montage. Okay, I give up. So this is something that I do often, and it works just fine. Oh, beats the hell out of me. And it's not their montages. I promise. It's not theirs. Their stuff works. And like I said, I have had no problem in the past with doing the same thing. I mean, sometimes it's just best to say the hell with it and give up. Because honestly, when things are not working that always work. Like I said, you saw how I had it set up in here, and it worked just fine. And there was nothing special. There's nothing in the animation blueprint. There's nothing anywhere else. Now, I didn't set up a death animation for it, but play single player. So you can go connect Steam Dummy. And works just fine. Now, these are different animations from a different pack. Like I said, those are from the pedestrian animation pack. Well worth the money to get. But as you see, like I said, the only difference is I was setting this up to, whenever I hit the F key, it's bringing up the widget for selecting the animation that I want to use, and it's stopping my movement here. But then whenever I hit the Q key, which is play my default emote, it's now going through server play emote, which server play emote then goes through switch as authority, then it says run client play emote, which then goes to here. So essentially, when I'm pressing the Q key, what's happening is it's starting this. It's confirming that my movement mode is none. It's playing montage, play montage. Bang, right there. Your mesh reference goes directly into here. The montage to play is right here. Default emote, and the default emote is this. Now, what's happening inside the widget is it's changing the default emote to one of these, and it's also playing it. So, I didn't replicate that. But essentially, that's all I'm doing is I'm playing montage, and it's working just fine. But for some reason, it decided it's just not going to work. So I freaking give up on that. But their stuff works, and Review is good for their animations. They look good. If you just need a handful of death animations, they're well worth getting, especially since it's free right now. For the most part, what I've always or have been using was the couple death animations from the animation starter pack, which is always free. So this is no longer May, and that one's no longer free. You can always get the ones from the animation starter pack. So I'll jump into this project really quickly. I know that don't remember which one's which here. Nope, that's not it. Well, I never put a... okay, I'm about to say... I'm sure I thought I put a... you know, timers working... extra ammo... Alright, well, I'll bypass all these guys here. Gotta shoot one every now and then. I got spring a little too tight on those guys. They don't move as much as they should. These are moving just fine. There's a guy at the end of the maze. That is using a death animation. Yes, he falls through the container. But he's using a death animation from the animation starter pack. Like that blowing up stuff, huh? This was part of a single player game project that I was doing. This was the training map. Showcasing setting up a zoom system for your scope. And got double crosshair for some reason. Didn't notice that before. That and exploding stuff, and yeah, at the end of the timer it just ends. But it's also scoring hits, by the way. You know, you look at the ammo in the upper right, and in the upper left it's showing the score. You don't get score for repeat hits. And game over. Yeah. So that was an unfinished project, just showing some things you can do in here. But I knew that that character at the end of the range there was using that death animation. Showing some demonstration of shootable objects. Yeah, a little bit more health to him. But that was the death animation that I used from Animation Starter Pack. Ammo. Those spring just fine. These were meant to spring and bounce back. It's got the spring a little too tight. Oh, out of ammo. And I was showing how they actually work, these targets right here. They're working off a pendulum system. And that was just tethered there like that. And these are tethered, you just don't see a tether on them. They're meant to just react a little bit. You can shoot it, or you can run into it. But, yeah. Okay, that was good enough for this video. If you guys want to see any more stuff, got any more questions or whatever, just hit me up on Discord, ask me. I do have channels for certain specific things. If you want to see more of this, and blowing up things, or killing things, or the hell, dude, what are you go over and kick my damn targets for? So, yeah. You want to see more? Let me know. As for that, I'm going to get out of here. And unless you guys want to see some more, then I'll fire up another project and do something. So this was the infected game mode from the other day. If you want to see more on that, building on that project, let me know. Any more of the teleporting stuff. User interface kit, I've said enough on that one in the last video. Not really all that particularly impressed by it. It's good for a number of things, but for me, no, not really. Yeah, there was a health bar system that I was doing on that one. My advertising system. We covered the death animations. Other features. You guys didn't let me know what else you wanted to see on this project, so this was dropped before Christmas time. I can probably just go ahead and delete this project, but it had some neat little things, and it had some promise. We did a Mixamo animation to City Studios animation, retargeting. It's amazing how all these things now want to have to compile shaders all over again. This one was just something that we were working on before Christmas time to see if people were interested in it. And you walk around and you can hit the E key and you're gathering up snow. You got to gather up snow so you can actually throw snowballs. And you have a yellow bar. You right click, you're throwing yellow snowballs. Kind of want to have an animation that had you creating them, a la the old South Park game. But you recharge your P meter by drinking sodas and whatnot. Throwing snowballs. Yeah, I need to change the rate at which they were doing that, but another thing also is you can pick up alcohol. If you picked up alcohol, it blurred your vision. The more alcohol you drank, the more blurred your vision got, and it progressively went away over time. Why are you not working? Why you not work? My billboards are broke. Oh well. Yeah. All right. We won't get out of here, but if you guys got questions, things you want to see, let me know and I'll do them. This video went way too long because of issues with Unreal Engine 4 being weird. Not that I was doing anything wrong. It was definitely Unreal Engine 4. But little things like sitting in a chair to the latest version of Motion. If you want to see more about the multiplayer template that I've got, that I sell, let me know. But this is set up and works in multiplayer as well. You know, it says go connect to Steam Dummy. It's because I'm running in this window right here instead of actually trying to run it in a standalone game, which would then check for Steam. Clicked on start a little bit too quickly. UE4 is locking up on me. Probably need to restart my computer because I got some weird things happening. Yeah, see it. And it was locking up there. Why are you compiling shaders? And yeah, everything's acting a little bit funny right now. Things that I have been looking at shouldn't need to compile shaders because nothing has changed. Yeah, it's taking a while for these to load, but there's video is not loading. Right here on this billboard and billboard up here. It's supposed to be a video. Well, let's let the shaders compile. What is your issue? To fully simulate skeletal mesh, please use a teleport flag. No. So yeah, there's weird shit going on here. Unreal Engine is just absolutely being weird. But this sign right here actually plays a video. Same as this one. You can see the white circle there, right next to the hamburger. You can see it's starting to load there. There it is. But it's not on that one yet. It's a little bit odd. God, love Cindy Studio stuff. Just looks cool. Some of them are loaded, but most of them aren't. The whole point of this project was testing out different motion types, hence the name of the project being called Motion. I'm trying to set up a few other things too, and trying to fix some of the multiplayer replication on some of the other items. Lord, can you take a little longer? Things like when you are on your hoverboard and you try to go into the inside of a building, I want to dismount you from the hoverboard so you can no longer use it while you're inside. Yeah, you can hit the number 1 key and jump on the hoverboard with sounds. You can even static jump while you're doing it. All the characters around town have a basic animation set. But there's a lot of little things that I want to do with this project that showcase different things you can do with movements and launching your character using... I don't have a jetpack set up yet, but being able to use the hoverboard was one setup. I don't have the stamina and all the other things set up yet. You stuck in that corner? Little things like the revolving signs up there, miscellaneous rockets. Where is it? Okay, I see one right there. Going up in the air. They're terrible looking rockets. But they spiral when they go up. Random launch from different locations, like spinning hamburger, how you can make things rotate. Essentially, video. Yeah, all kind of little cool shit. Alright guys, I'm going to get out of here. But if you want to see something else, let me know. And I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you around.